galaxy far, far away, there exists a group of fierce and fabulous women who are on a mission to explore the depths of pop culture. They are the Galactic Gals, and they are here to take you on a journey through the cosmos of entertainment. From the latest TV shows and movies to a trip down the Milky Way of nostalgia, they will delve into the worlds of fantasy and imagination, bringing you insights and analysis that are out of this world. So buckle up, cosmonauts, and get ready to blast off with the Galactic Gals Pop Culture Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 27th episode of Galactic Gals. I think it's 27 now. I think last week you said 26, right?
Yeah, we're at 27.
Okay. Wow, 27. I wish I was 27, but I didn't turn 27 yesterday. Yeah. Not. Yeah. So it's been an interesting week for Doctor Who. This week, we had the premiere of Tales of the TARDIS, number first on BBC iPlayer, and I'm not sure. Did you check any of it out, or had you? I know you said
no. I was
terrible.
Yeah, it's been crappy week. No, I was trying to find a free VPN.
You would have just made it crappier had you watched some of it. So, there's a lot of anger. I'm seeing, and a lot of mixed reviews, but mostly just annoyance and anger at Tales of the TARDIS that I'm seeing a lot of, including from myself, which is, obviously it's not the 60th. It's just a side little extra special that RTD has bestowed upon us, and gifted to us this week. But I did watch some of them. There was only one that I finished as an entire episode, which was The Curse of Fenric, which was, from what I've watched, was the best one. Sylvester McCoy was the most doctorly to me in those, and Ace, it was better than I thought. It wasn't anything, but the Davison one and the Tegan one was very cringy and weird. It was like a soap opera, and What I did like about it was it's like an omnibus, which, in other words, there's no cliffhangers at the end of the episode, so it kind of plays like a movie. I did watch some of the Time Meddler one, the Hartnell one, and I didn't finish it, but it was okay. Yeah, so it's not. It feels like it's a little bit like he just kind of threw it at us and go, okay, I need to give y'all something, so here you go.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's okay. I to be honest, the phrase RTD gifted on us makes me less likely to watch these days. Yes. But like I said, I started thinking, it could have been worse.
Yeah.
It could have been something Jodie related, although, which I think is pure irony. There is in the junkyard looking TARDIS that they created for this thing that looked like Fred Sanford created. It's just all the junk that Doctor doesn't even want anymore. It's just a big room. Looks like Fred Sanford created it. In fact, so much that the Sanford and Son theme was playing through my head throughout when they were standing in this junkyard looking TARDIS. But in the middle, which was an extremely horrible trip hazard, was the Jodie TARDIS. That was, like a campfire. So they're all sitting around this thing, telling these memories of this episode that we've all seen for years. If you're a classic fan, you've probably seen it. And I thought the irony of that being a fire, because it was a huge trash fire. So I'm not sure if that was a dig or if that's literally just trying to shoehorn in Jodie, which is probably just trying to shoehorn Jodie. Yeah. So
knowing
again,
what RTD's comments have been, yeah.
So this is where I think RTD, as much as like I'm open to the 60th and I'm open to do what you're going to see, what you're going to do and not judge, you're being a dickhead. You're just being a kind of a dickhead right now, saying that this is canon because it's stupid. It's too stupid to be canon. It's just dumb. It isn't like, apparently later on, you're going to sort of connect this somehow, and you're going to it's gonna all make sense later when you watch season 1. Oh yeah, because season 14 is not season 14, it's season 1.
I saw that too. I'm like,
okay,
I know. I can't wrap my head around that either. I have some ideas, but
I'm not saying RTD is not a genius writer, but I think he can be kind of a dick when he says stuff like Tales of the TARDIS is absolutely canon, says showrunner Russell T Davies. It's like, so you not our Doctor. That's how I feel like it's going. So this is canon. That's why I say it. It's like, no, maybe so, but if it doesn't make sense and it doesn't follow the lore of the canon and it goes off on another tangent and meant to make sense, in my opinion, it's not canon. Which explains the Jodie Whittaker era.
Yeah.
And my problem with the Tales of the TARDIS, and then I'll read this article, is that the Doctor's old, and the only explanation that he gave for the Doctor being old was said by Sylvester McCoy that when Ace asked him, why you're so old? Well, there's, the Doctor has many time streams. And I don't always regenerate in all of them. Some I regenerate in and some I don't.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah. And that they're always there in the TARDIS. And that's what that's explained. Like they're always like, why are we here? Well, you never left the TARDIS. You're always in the TARDIS. It's like, with this. But so he says it's absolutely canon. And he says, in the new SFX magazine out today, Davis laughed off the suggestion that some fans might not consider the spinoff a real part of the 60-year-old show's history. When asked directly if the show is canon, he responded, absolutely, God almighty, what the flip? He then joked that the show launching on the streamer might somehow disqualify in the eyes of some fans. Well, it's going out on iPlayer. Some fans will be completely justified in saying, if it hasn't been transmitted on BBC One, then it's not canon. I mean, welcome to your life. I have nothing to say to you. So in other words, if you don't like it, I have nothing to say. Well, you should, because you should listen to people when they tell you that what you've just done is shit. And what you've just done is kind of shit. And again, this is just extra. Like, he doesn't have to do this. But if you're going to make something for the fans, start listening to what the fans want. I was talking to Gary. Yeah, I was talking to Gary and another individual on, I believe it was the forum. And somebody had posted a picture of a fan picture of Tennant and Smith together, and they kind of made it like a Disney Plus cover, and it was them together. And in a few minutes, we all came up with some kind of cool idea in 5 minutes that sounded awesome that we would watch. Basically, it was the 10th, the 11th, and 12th together as an Avenger type show. Maybe a 6-8 episode. And Gary came up with a brilliant title called the Genuine Articles. It wouldn't be called Doctor Who, it would just be called the Genuine Articles, like the Avengers.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about you. Would you watch something like that?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Because it reminds me of going back, to some of the classic, like the 5 Doctors or the 3 Doctors, when they, whichever one it was where they were searching for the key to time. And there was a few of them, I mean, it just makes it more fun. You get to see him help himself,
and
which is kind of
be
intriguing.
A different type of show.
Yeah.
It would be this them in like 6 or 8 episodes, not a full season, not a full series, but something besides. Okay, don't get me wrong, I love seeing these people because I enjoy classic Who, but it just seemed so cringy. The dialogue was cringy. It's like I didn't want it. I didn't ask for it. I don't want a rehash of old episodes with new intros to them. You could have done it where they're talking about the episode before and after the episode, but they didn't want to do that. They wanted it to be like a story. And why are you messing with it? Just leave it alone. It's fine the way it is. Do something new. Make an eighth Doctor animated series. Do like what we just suggested. I mean, again, I hear more great ideas from actual fans, and I don't mean like fans that just love Jodie and they just love the whole. Oh my God, it's so LGBTQ. I don't mean those. I mean fans that have
truly
great ideas and
period.
They love the character of the Doctor. So whatever RTD, just whatever. To me it won't be. I don't know how you're going to make this canon, but to me, it seemed like the dialogue and the show and the intros and the endings were very much more like a soap opera, and I don't want any more of that. I'm tired of it.
Well, you got to think. It all goes back to something Joe told us. He said it's all about what the execs want, and that's why we can never have anything good. They'll never listen to the fans. And it sucks because a lot of people, us commoners or peasants, we have a lot of great ideas.
Right.
We really do. And I guess that's why some people go off in independent filmmaking.
I think saying things like this that he just said is an insult to those people because we do have great ideas because you were once like us, RTD, but you've become out of touch. And when you become out of touch, you really don't know what the fans want because you refuse to listen, because anytime they disagree with something you've done, regardless of the reason, you shut them down, and you shouldn't do that. So that's never a good idea. Regardless, he might, and I'm not saying this is a completely different than what the 60th is going to be and the new series is going to be. I don't know. Still, that's up in the air, but this doesn't make me feel good. But again, all right, it's something that maybe somebody can enjoy, and that's great. If you enjoy it, wonderful. Like I said, there's aspects that I liked. I liked how the episodes didn't have a cliffhanger and they played like a movie. I enjoyed that. But as far as the beginning and the ending scenes, I didn't need it. I didn't need to know. I didn't need all these explanations and them sitting around a Jody Lego looking fire talking about their feelings. In a it looked like a junkyard. So junkyard TARDIS. Yeah. And you can see here, you can kind of see an idea. It was that was actually clean compared to normally, like when you're looking around the TARDIS, it's very cluttered.
It looks like a hubcap on the wall. It really does.
Fred Sanford, I'm telling you. Fred Sanford would be proud of this TARDIS. He'd be like, wow. Elizabeth finally got my TARDIS. I mean, he would just be like happy. So it's basically, it's just a 6-episode spinoff designed to complement the recent uploading of 800 episodes of the original 1963-1989 version of the show to BBC iPlayer. God, there's 800 plus episodes.
Yeah, and that right there screws all the American people. And it's like, you're trying to expand your fan base. Why are you going to screw those living in different countries than you think you would make it accessible for all?
Well, we have BritBox here, but you have to pay for it. So, and Classic Who's on Pluto, and I believe it's on Tubi, but it could be another one I'm thinking of. But they don't play in order. So, and if you're like me and you want to watch it for the first time, you do want to kind of watch them in order. You just do. Like, you want to get through each Doctor, but once you've seen them, it doesn't matter to you. But initially, I want to what I want, So, and the other thing is that not that you're missing much because you aren't. But Tales of the TARDIS is only available on BBC iPlayer. So unless you have a VPN or you Americans are just, or you sail the seas or whatever, you're not going to get this. And now, I don't know, maybe once the 60th airs, maybe they'll put this on Disney Plus, but that's another subscription. So I don't know if you know that, like, the only season that is the 60th and the season 1 with Shooty is going on Disney Plus. Everything else of New Who is still going to be on HBO Max.
Okay.
So
I've been recently going back. Yeah, I've been recently going back and actually watching. Started with the 9th Doctor. Now I'm up to David Tennant's. What did we just watch? Let's see. The werewolf one. Just finished that one.
Oh, okay. The episode. Tooth and Claw.
Yeah, Tooth and Claw. So I forgot, I mean, watching him, it's like, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the 60th, you know? So
I think it's going to be good. What if it's good beyond that, I don't know. But I think the 60th release be really great. We'll like it. I'm pretty sure. This is here. It's just, it's just a gift to try to tide us over. And I get it. But look, if you're going to tide us over, tide us over.
Yeah, for real.
But this is just my opinion, and I'm not saying that I'm not open to the 60th being good, and this hasn't changed that. It kind of, it doesn't. So basically, he has bigger plans for the Doctor Who spinoff Tales of the TARDIS. The new spinoff will make more sense in the coming weeks. Doctor Who spinoff Tales of the TARDIS launches today on BBC iPlayer, but as showrunner Russell T Davies tells SFX magazine in the new issue published today, there are already bigger plans in place for the show. There are bigger plans behind this that we can't talk about yet. Eventually, Tales of the TARDIS will begin to make more sense as the series next year unfolds, and you will see. But it's a really lovely thing to do for the 60th. The 6-episode series was filmed over the course of 6 days in September 2023. It's very last minute. And it shows. It really shows. I thought of about 2 months ago, and it shows. I did think we hadn't done enough for the 60th, and we made this. And I agree, he hadn't done enough for that. But
really? Are you still there? Technical difficulties. There we are.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. That's like weird.
Oh, that was weird. It was RTD. He was here. He's been hearing what I'm saying. It's Bad Wolf Studios and BBC. They're coming. Anyway.
Evidently.
Yeah. So, but again, no surprise that you thought of this 2 months ago, RTD. It shows. I did think we hadn't done enough for this, and I agree. I agree that he hadn't done enough for the 60th, but just make it something awesome. Davies also described the process of making the series as a happy one. I've had one of the greatest weeks of my entire career, taking a cast member out for dinner every night and talking to them. And every single night we've been sitting here saying how we wish that former Doctor Who producer John Nathan Turner was still alive, and which was he was the showrunner for the 80s series, which he's actually featured in Talking Doctor Who, which is better than this. So if you have not seen Talking Doctor Who, that's on BBC iPlayer as well. David Tennant hosts, and it's got very rare interviews with William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Peter Davison, and up into Paul McGann and some of the companions. And it is very cool. Like the Hartnell video, that the interview, because he did very few interviews. I've only seen clips of that before. So I got to see the full thing, which was great. You get to see how he was outside of Doctor Who. And I thought that was cool. So that is also on BBC iPlayer. And David Tennant's a great host of that too.
I do want to see that. I'm going to have to get me a VPN. So
yeah.
But I have one. It's built into my antivirus software. I think I'm just going to go that route. So I'll just do that.
Yeah, definitely watch that. I mean, and if you want, check out some of these if you want. You might like them.
Yeah.
I personally, like I am open to somebody going, you know what? I know, but I like it. I'm totally open to that. For me, I just felt like it was unnecessary. And if you're going to watch any of them, watch the Curse of Fenric, because I think that one was great. I like the way that played out. I like the way they acted in it. This one, not so much, but and there's a whole thing about the memory in the TARDIS and how the TARDIS has a memory, and they have to tell these stories so that they're like that feeds the TARDIS, and it's I guess an interesting concept, but again, I didn't ask for it, and
I get it.
It seems very stale. I think that's what it is.
Well, I've always assumed that the TARDIS was sentient anyway, and she has her own thoughts and feelings. So, but that's part of the mystery.
Yeah. Yeah. So Gary says if RTD was smart, he would get iPlayer to offer alternate audio tracks from the script doctors, especially from the upcoming colorized Daleks. Oh, Ian. Oh, yes, the script doctors, which I have talked to. Jason had mentioned it to me that we need to do a special, like, reunion special of the script doctors and do it on this channel. Because that was tons of fun. It was just basically us all having a part and just completely reading a Doctor Who script and just going off the rails, which was
that would
so
be
much
fun. That would be a lot of fun.
And and just come on and do one just for old time's sake, because I do miss it. We did it, I think, once a month for about a year, and it was it was a lot of fun. And I think we ran through all of the Doctors, like 1 through 12 or something.
Wow.
And I got so I got to play the John Pertwee Doctor, so my female version of John Pertwee. So and I got to play the 8th Doctor as well. So that was so much fun. And we did other things too. We did Lost Boys and other stuff. And it doesn't have to be just Doctor Who either. It can be Star Trek and that
maybe
would be fun.
You know what? Maybe we need to finish God, the show we were in, that got canceled. God, I can't even remember
Dark
the name
Matter?
of that thing. Yes, that one. Maybe we need to finish that one. Go away, B.
Yeah, we'll write a script.
He's cooking hamburgers and has the back door open and yellow jackets are flying in. So
okay.
I'm like, go away. Oh, mercy.
Yeah. So I don't know. This just tells of the TARDIS. And I didn't understand. Okay, Clyde. I don't know. Did you ever watch the Sarah Jane Adventures?
I've seen bits and pieces of them. Yeah.
Okay. So I understood why Clyde was in it, right? He was in it because, like, Joe had been in an episode of Sarah Jane Adventures, and they had met. But what I don't understand is, like, why is he in this? He had no memory of this situation. He had no memories of the 3 Doctor episode. He had no memories of that because he wasn't a character in the show. So the only thing that I can think of is that this is just for diversity. Don't get me wrong. I like Clyde, but you could have got Bitten to be in here.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like, because first of all, nobody that is probably a younger fan, unless you've watched Classic, is going to care about this. They're not going to like, well, who are you doing this for? Right. Not that it's not good. I haven't seen it, but I just don't understand the thought process. Why did you choose Clyde? You could have chose any companion that wasn't there in that situation. Because it's people that in the Tales of the TARDIS, it's 2 people that shared a memory of this. And Clyde was not there.
Maybe they were transferring or projecting. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I mean, somebody in the chat might have. I haven't got to this one yet. Now, once I get to it, that maybe I'll talk about it next week and say what I thought. But don't get me wrong, I like Clyde. I think Clyde was a cool character in Sarah Jane Adventures. But I just think in this case, okay, like we got to have at least one ethnic person, or we have to have diversity. We have to put somebody of color in this. We just have to.
Yeah. Oh, Gary made a comment about that particular episode.
All right.
He says the Joe Clyde episode was written by Phil Ford, Sarah Jane Adventure head writer, and was more of an epilogue to Sarah Jane.
Okay, well then that makes sense. But why is it the 3 Doctors? It could have been like you could have done a Sarah Jane episode. That's what I don't understand. Like, why is it a Doctor Who? That's my thing. But Bennett would have been perfect. It was the 3 Doctors, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's the 3 Doctors, which he was not in because he wasn't born. He wasn't even thought of.
Wow,
because that was the 70s. So yeah, I don't know. But that's interesting. Okay. I didn't know. Okay, so let's get to this issue. This fun issue. Doctor Who's Rusty Davies. I won't unwrite Chris Chibnall.
When I saw that, I was like, "Oh God, she's going to go off." I mean, yeah, I get it.
I didn't expect him to ever retcon Chibnall. I never expected that. But what I have an issue with is why does he have to say it was fine? It was not fine. It was complete garbage. Yeah, so he says, setting any rumors straight, Davies told SFX, let's stare the question right in the eye. I'm not going to unwrite my good friend Chris Chibnall's work on the Timeless Children. I'm not going to deny that he wrote. I'm going with it. It's absolutely fine. It is not absolutely fine. It's completely garbage. I'm not expecting you to say it's garbage, but I'm expecting you just to leave it at, say I'm just not going to retcon it. Why can't you just say that? Why does it have to be all like dramatic? Like, I'm going to let these not my doctors know, who fans know right now that we're not going to do that. Well, I didn't think he was ever going to do that. People that thought that were cheating. They were lying to themselves. And the other thing that made me go off is the word Whoniverse was invented by fans. Yeah. Which fans? The morons? I mean, that just sounds dumb. The Whoniverse. So it's time to give it official status. No, you made up the word. You probably got on Twitter under some other name and started saying it, and then it caught on because idiots just love, these kind of words. And I don't like it. I don't like Whoniverse. I just think it sounds stupid. I think it's like like you're trying to combine Marvel and Doctor Who and kind of do. look, I don't have a problem making it cinematic. I think that's a great idea. What I do have a problem with is it's making it seem like Marvel. Completely like Marvel, because that makes me nervous, because Marvel's garbage for the most part.
I get it.
Yeah. So here's his smarmy face.
We go to smug, from smug to this. Yeah.
He always looks like I'm not even going to say it. Smarmy. What's that?
I'm not even going to say it. It just that image just looks so perverted when you're thinking perverted. So I mean, like the cat that got the proverbial canary.
Oh yeah. Oh
yeah.
But he goes on about Tales of the TARDIS again, because that's what they do. It's like a big top. It's like, it's the greatest thing ever. And I always, when somebody builds something up to that degree, your mind starts building it up, because it's just a natural thing to do. It's just to build it up. And then you see it and you're like, really? That's what you're building up? So I tend to not do that. And I did, but I had no expectations of Tales of the TARDIS. I tried to stay away before I started watching some of it before the articles. Then I read the articles.
Yeah.
And I was just like, really? That's what you're so excited about? So it makes me nervous when you say, this is the greatest thing ever put to paper. And he's doing that now with season 1 of Shooty's Era. So I'm just like, okay, don't do that, because people are going to do that naturally. You're going to build it up in your mind. I try not to, because I know it's never going to meet all these expectations that you have ever. David Tennant is also doing Children in Need. 2023 confirms new Doctor Who scene with David Tennant. So we're getting, So hopefully it won't be written like the Tales of the TARDIS, but I kind of expect it to be written like the Tales of the TARDIS, because it's children in need, and it's not supposed to be like. And I get it.
Right.
If Tales of the TARDIS had been a children's in need special, because that's how it's playing to me, like children in need special. That's how it's written. I would totally say it's children in need. It's just for fun. But now he's saying Tales of the TARDIS is canon. But it plays like a children in need special. So
yeah,
that doesn't fly to me. But yeah, so we're getting that. So I mean, check it out. I probably will. I'm not like, I don't have to watch those. It doesn't like, I did watch the Davison one years later after it aired, but I don't get excited about those very much. Some fans just watch every single scene, and I just don't. If Peter was in it, I would, but it's really not my thing. That sounds cold-hearted. I'm not into watching children in need specials, but yes, children in need it's in the past have been canon like the Tennant ones, but they're probably better written than Tales of the TARDIS.
Yeah.
And I'm not, like I said, it's not my thing.
Yeah.
And so they're going to he says this is what Doctor Who's all about. Brand new talent from the next generation. No one's more talented than Lenny. He joins the TARDIS team just in time for the Doctor's greatest nightmare, so hold on tight. So it's this actor is joining, I believe, the season 1 or the 60th. I think it's season 1. And I hate calling it season 1. So we talked about this earlier. Doctor Who older seasons won't be on streaming on Disney Plus. So you have to spend more money unless you own the physical copies.
Yeah.
And if you can, start owning them so you're not beholden to streaming services, because you will be. Disney Plus only is going to have season 1 and the 60th and whatever they deem worthy on there. And then the rest of it will be on HBO Max. So,
yeah.
So I don't know if you've seen the new intro, but there's a new intro for the Whoniverse. Doctor Who celebrates new, and it's going to piss you off. It's going to piss you off, Michelle. It's really going to piss you off. Because somebody was left out.
Of course,
a few
they
people
were
left out. Yeah,
of course,
and a few people were photobombing it, if you know what I mean. And so we're going to, yeah. So we're gonna watch this. Okay, it's okay.
Okay.
So get ready. I don't mean to play that again.
Wow.
So, yeah. So do you realize who's not in this?
Yeah, I didn't see Peter.
Nope.
And unless it, now knowing that he said he would not come back,
but it doesn't matter. He's old still footage. A doctor. Yeah. There's Hartnell, and I didn't see Pertwee either, or McCoy, or Colin Baker, or Paul McGann.
Unless it's because they were doing those little Tales of the TARDIS thing, but still, they're still the Doctor, like you said.
Okay, like I said,
yeah.
I don't. I mean, that's disrespectful. First of all, you should have took the companions out, and you should have made them all doctors.
The Doctor, yeah.
Even that would mean that scrunchy face would be at the end, but whatever. I would have rather had that and Peter been involved than this. This is and I get it. Ncuti is going to be the new Doctor. I get his face is going to be up there. I have no problem with that. I don't, but let's respect the other Doctors and add them. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And I think that it's disrespectful. You should have every single Doctor in it.
Yeah, and because without all of them,
we wouldn't. In it.
Yeah, without all those previous Doctors, we wouldn't have.
And what I've noticed is he's left out Matt Smith too. I didn't see him in it.
Yeah, I didn't see him either.
Like, okay, we're just not going to leave Moffat in here. We're not going to put any. We're just going to put my universe.
9. Yeah, I didn't see the 9th Doctor either.
I think 9 was very small, but he was in there only because I think he was our era. So if you look at this, most of it was RTD era, except for Misty. Added Misty, and I think it's because they want to put women. There's Rose, and I mean I haven't really watched every slowed it down, but I might actually do that. It's in this. Yes.
Wow.
They included all Doctors in the 50th in one way or another. This tells the TARDIS feels very rushed and flawed. It is very much so. And this actually, yes, I know he's not going to retcon Chibnall, but this pissed me off more than the Chibnall thing because, again, I have no problem with Ncuti being front and center because he's the new Doctor. I have no problem with it at all. What I do have a problem with it, you added old Scrunch Face in there, which is a Chibnall era. That's not your era, but you don't add 12 and you don't add 11. And there's no Paul McGann, there's no McCoy, there's no Pertwee. I saw Baker very small, but those are just. You should just take out all the companions. I'm not saying they're not important; they are, but this is about the show's called Doctor Who.
Yeah, well, if you really want to get technical, Donna should have been in there because she was briefly the Dr. Donna.
Did you not see it? She was not in there? Okay, let's see. Let's watch it. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it again and see if we can technically on doing this. Okay, Tom Baker. You're right. I didn't see Donna.
I'm gonna have to slow that down. I'm gonna have to slow that down and go frame by frame. It's difficult to tell.
No, it's not there. And I hate the music. I absolutely hate that music. It should be the theme. It should be the theme. And look, I've said this in the beginning of all this. Look, if something isn't right, I'm going to point it out. I didn't say a whole lot before because things hadn't started, coming out. I'm not going to start ripping something apart that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But I've seen it now several times. We've all seen it several times. And I'm telling you, this right here is garbage. Now, whether what comes after is going to be great, but that might be, you're not going to love every aspect of it. I mean,
right.
believe it or not, controversially, I like the music for Peter's era, but I actually did not like the imagery. I thought it looked cheap. That's controversial because I love 12, but I kind of felt like the graphics for the background for his intro could have been better. So there's things that I will pick apart, but again, I've seen this now, so I can start saying that. That's why I held off, because I still doesn't mean that the 60th won't be good. Still doesn't mean that the first season with Shooty won't be good. We don't know, but I do know that's garbage.
Gary said on Type 40, Dan overlaid the original theme music on the titles, and it improved them immeasurably. Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe so, but there needs to be every single doctor in this, and that would have to include her too, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I would rather have that than have this with the Doctor Who theme in the background and the original theme playing. Not, I mean, or at least the obviously the Murray Gold, but I'd rather have the original theme anyway. I don't think they've ever changed it and messed with it, but I understand it's Murray Gold, but yeah, there's some things obviously I don't like. So, but I can't believe Donna's not in that. I just can't believe she's not in that.
Well, like I said, I'll have to slow that down and go frame by frame and see.
Yeah, let me know. So that's all the Doctor Who news we got, because I so I don't know. Did you ever? I've never really actually talked to you about this, but were you ever a fan of the Highlander series or the Highlander movie?
I saw bits and pieces of it. It was okay. I guess I just didn't really get it back then.
Right.
I know there can only be one. So
they're remaking it, and they're remaking it with Henry Cavill, which, I'm a huge fan of the original movie. The original first movie. I didn't like the series. The other other movies that followed were just okay. They weren't my thing, but the first movie I always loved. So I am very torn because it had a certain aesthetic that it had, but Henry Cavill's coming, and you know how I feel about Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
So
I think he could pull it off. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know who they would get to play Sean Connery's part. That character.
Right. Well, hopefully somebody that isn't Scottish, because he's supposed to be a Spaniard, like they did in the original, which a Frenchman played a Scottish, and a Scottish man played a Spaniard. That was how the original. So hopefully they fix that. But so the new director, Chad Stahelski, who actually he was the director of John Wick. So after 7 years of lingering in development, the Highlander reboot is finally moving forward, and director Chad Stahelski shares new insight for his vision of the project. The 1986 fantasy action movie introduced audiences to the secret world of immortals going as far back as the 16th century, who wage a war against one another across the centuries for a mysterious ultimate prize. Stahelski, well known for his extensive stunt work and directing the John Wick franchise, signed on to helm a reboot of the franchise in 2016, with Henry Cavill joining the cast in 2021. So, while speaking exclusively with Screen Rant for John Wick Chapter 4's Oscar campaign, Stahelski was asked about his vision for the Highlander reboot. The director offered a passionate explanation of why he signed on to the franchise in the first place, expressing his desire for more Highlander for the past 20 years and believing that its mythology has endless opportunities to explore on screen. And I agree. I think it does. But I think it needs to be done the right way. So hopefully it does. He says, if you're a fan at all, you know about the TV shows and the mythology there, the things that work in the future aspect of the franchise, and what didn't. I would like to think that it has, I guess. I hope I'm beginning to bringing to the realization of the potential that we all see in that franchise. Now we probably don't love all the other ancillary stuff that came out of it, but we love the potential of it. There isn't an episode of the TV show that you can watch hoping for more or wanting more That's not to say they did a good or bad job, just that I want more. For whatever reason, 20 years later, I want more Highlander. I think that franchise with the mythology of people going through the centuries and the burden of immortality, as much as the wish for fulfillment of immortality, you know, how you relate to people you love and don't love, both mortal and immortal, and what you can do with that is some of the most romantic, interesting, existential stuff I've ever seen. I think it's a playground for everything that I love about John Wick series and everything that I can't do in the John Wick series because I'm dealing with mortals. So it gives me another realm to play in. So just look at it as a natural evolution of the world building and potential behind that is more than any other property that I'm attached to. And know that. And I know that. So hopefully that's where I'll put my energies and whatever talent I have. So I feel like that's on the right track. So he says this is his most important project yet, and so he feels like that the Highlander reboot looks to be one of the Stahelski's biggest and most important projects yet. Prior to making his directorial debut with John Wick franchise, Stahelski was better known for his work as a stunt and fight coordinator, having similarly cut teeth in the genre with Zack Snyder's 300, as well as the Wachowski produced Ninja Assassin. But then accredited work on a Nicolas Cage led Season of the Witch and Keanu Reeves' 47 Ronin. So it seems like to me that he's kind of on the right track. He's not talking about, and hopefully he's not talking about, it's important to make sure that we're including everybody and everybody's going to have somebody to relate to. It seems like this is something that everyone can relate to on the basis of everybody has somebody they love, and the thought of you living forever and losing those people. I think anyone could relate to that thought. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually kind of warming up to it every day just from reading this article.
Yeah,
it wasn't enough that I love Henry Cavill. So
yeah, I might watch it. Like I said, I tried watching the other ones, and I just couldn't get it in. Couldn't make it work. But
yeah,
and Gary, bite that tongue of yours. Yeah,
no. right. Yeah, right. Right. Do that. So one of my worries is that because the music in the original Highlander was Queen, and it made such an impact on the film itself, and it really did give it that atmospheric feeling. I was worried that, oh God, they're going to put some new kind of music in there and it's not going to be good. But he says that he will use the Queen songs from the original movie, which that made me feel so much better. So that hopefully it's actually Queen singing them. I hope that is the case. But yeah, he has said that he will use the Queen songs from the original movie. So I'm assuming that that's what he means. So that is another thing. I'm like, oh, okay. So and you're right. I think Henry Cavill can do it. I think Christopher Lambert had a certain look. Henry Cavill looks nothing like him, and I think there's some people that are not going to be able to get over that. But I'm actually warming up to it. The thought of it. So usually we don't talk about merch, but I want to show everybody something that I've actually come across just in the wild as well. Not this particular one, but these little Funkos that are very cool. They're in a VHS looking case.
Oh boy.
And it's from a Blockbuster line, and this is obviously the Doc Brown one. And this is obviously you get two variants. You get just the one where he's just Doc Brown in his regular, I guess his pajama coat or whatever, his smoking jacket. And then you get the one where he's got the thingamajig on his head. I don't even know what that thing's called anymore.
Generic version of the chameleon arch.
Yeah, right. And this is what the front of it looks like, and they're not like big. I mean, they're not like a big full size VHS, but I've seen the other ones in the wild, not the Back to Future ones, but they're pretty neat. I mean, I almost just want it not to even out to take the figure out, just to display, because I think they're really cute. So I just wanted to throw those are coming out. So that means that others will be coming out. Do I think they'd be like Doctor Who ones? Probably not. they'll probably just do movies, but they have a whole Disney line that I don't care about. But I think this is pretty cool. And that means they would do it like maybe like E.T. and Star Wars. I know that one's coming.
Yeah.
But Jaws would be a cool when you get a Jaws little VHS.
They're collector's items, so, and if you're a fan of Back to the Future, yeah.
Yes, it's supposed to be Doc Brown. And the thing about Funkos that some people don't get is they don't facially look like the character, but they have aspects of that character.
Right.
So, yeah, it's like I have Peter Capaldi ones. They all have pretty much the same things, but yeah. It's like I'm only Brady who's getting trumped in Camber Witch green vibes. I have no idea what that means, but
me neither.
I'm sure somebody else. Yeah. Yeah. Be kind, rewind, sure. So they're actually priced at $11.99. So
that's not bad.
And they're for pre-order for November 1st, wherever Funko collectibles are sold, or from the Funko website. So, but they sell them in Hot Topic. I mean, I think they're cute. I don't have room for them really. I just wanted to share that because I think we talk about sci-fi stuff, but we don't always, I don't ever show merchandise I find. So I think that's kind of a neat, thing to do. Kind of throw that in there. So this is kind of a scary
kind of... I know exactly where you're going. I know. Yes. No way.
I don't know why this is scary to me, but it's very cool, but very scary. Now, this isn't available right now. So even though the title from Giant Freaking Robot, it's bait. It's obviously you can, but it's not out for the public to do that. So you can now play video games with your mind. So a group of Spanish researchers have developed a brain computer that allows users to play video games using their thoughts. The system interface is based on electrocephalograms, EEG, with 94% accuracy in translating players' intentions into in-game actions. Each move takes just over 5 seconds, making a significant step forward in this exciting technology field. The study, published in Frontiers in Human Neuroscience via SciPost, represents transformative brain computers that enable direct communication between the human brain and the internal devices, such as prosthetic limbs and video games. The interfaces work by detecting and interpreting neural signals through electrodes placed on the user's head and translating the signals into actionable commands. Was that what was on his head? Maybe that was what he was doing. He was playing video games with his contraption. Doc Brown was, maybe. The brain computer used in Connect 4 in a test run. So the brain computer study lead author Celine Marino Calderon and her team set up to develop a multiplayer game using CVEPs, enabling players to interact with the game solely through their thoughts. They created a vision of the classic strategy game Connect 4, where players take turns dropping colored discs into a vertical grid. The first to a line of 4 discs, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally, wins. And this wouldn't be like, they haven't got it to the stage where you could play a first person shooter yet. And even though that this is like slow, like a slow process. So the study involved 22 healthy participants with an average age of 28, including 6 participants with prior experience using brain-computer interfaces. To translate the player's neural signals with in-game moves, the researchers placed 8 EEG electrodes at various points on each participant's head. A Bluetooth connection linked the EEG system to the computer running the game. I have no idea any of that. But so calibration for each user took less than a minute, and the results was astonishing. The accuracy in converting participants' intentions into in-game actions ranged from 91% to 95%, with their average accuracy of 94% across all tasks. Yeah. On average, the playing computer executed approximately 11 moves per minute, which isn't very good, equating to slightly over 5 seconds per action. So again, you're not going to like play a first year game. I mean, you'd be dead. Wow. You would never like.
Well, speaking of dead, there's actually some guy out there who's creating a VR where if you you put this contraption on your head and if you die in the game, you die in real life. Just Google it. It's out there. And I'm like, no.
Why? Why would anyone want that?
I don't know.
I guess
if you can explain it,
the excitement.
Yeah, but geez, go stand in traffic. That'll do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's your dead, and like, you know, if you stand in traffic long enough, it's not much of a challenge. I think it's the fact that it's a challenge, and like see if I can stay alive. And then like, you know, if you don't, then you know, it's like I don't know why anybody would want to do that. That's insane.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? There will be stupid people to actually buy that stupid contraption.
Well, maybe maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Hopefully, if they're stupid, they're probably not bad at the game, though. But maybe they are.
Gary's comment.
They should hook this in a Biden's brain, but he'd only be able to play something simple like peekaboo.
And then fall down.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
One promising avenue for improving the performance of the interface is the use of code-modulated visual invoked potentials, a specific type of brain-computer interface technology that uses visual stimuli with unique codes to trigger distinct neural responses to the brain. Researchers have explored the potential of CFEPs in creating efficient systems that can be used to control external devices for gaming. I just, you know, it's cool, but it's almost freaky, you know, like at the thought of eventually being able to play a game with your brain.
Yeah.
Wow. But they've had this a long time. Actually, Jason was pointing out they had something very similar for Atari, but obviously it didn't get very far. And that was in the 80s. So, I mean, they've been trying to develop something like this for years and years.
You know, if they could take and develop that for like games, why can't they develop that for paraplegics and so where they could walk again or something? You know, I
said that they said they used some of the stuff for it. So I think that's just what they're probably, you know, taking that and kind of, you know, using it for, you know, entertainment purposes. Yeah. It says, while the ability to control video games using thoughts is very cool, the game used in the study is relatively slow-paced and is simple compared to most video games in 2023. So it would be like, we'll probably be dead. For brain-computer interfaces to find widespread application and entertainment, further developments are necessary. I would say a lot of developments are probably necessary. Yeah. Moreover, using electrodes that require gel on users' heads is not ideal for mainstream gaming. Comfortable and non-invasive alternatives will be vital to make brain-computer technology accessible to a broader audience. So I thought that was really interesting. But what I really thought was interesting is that you just went to see this movie.
I've seen it twice, actually.
Oh, really? Did you like it? Really like it?
We went to the theater and saw it. It was actually really, really good. I was surprised. And then it's on Peacock, streaming on Peacock for anybody that has Peacock. So we watched it again the other night as a family movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. I didn't know that it was on Peacock already.
Yeah. It's this has been, I think, years in the making. I don't like Chuck E. Cheese. I never liked Chuck E. Cheese. I never got into those stupid little character things. And this movie kind of will show you why. But there's a mystery that goes along in this movie, and it keeps you guessing. And I started putting the pieces together, and I kept telling Jacob, "Oh, it's this, you know." And I figured it out. It's like, oh wow! So it's a really good storyline. There are some jump scares. They have the kid who played PETA in the Hunger Games. He plays the lead character in there, and the guy that played Shaggy in Scooby-Doo, and he also played serial killer in the Hackers movie. He's in this. The storyline is really great. I enjoyed the storyline, and it's wide open for another movie.
That's cool. That's really cool.
And you get to these characters. You got Foxy, which is the fox. That's Chica. Toy Chica. You got Freddy Fazbear, and Bonnie is the bunny there, and each of them have a different background.
So apparently
it's good
very well at the box office, and there's reasons for that. Actually, it is the creator will not apologize because to the woke cancel mob for his support of Donald Trump and Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
So it apparently scared up a lot of monster box office, according to this article, of the original creator Scott Cawthon.
Scott Cawthon. Yeah.
Refused to apologize to a woke cancel mob over his political donations to politicians such as Donald Trump and to Tulsi Gabbard. Good for you. Yep. According to the numbers, the film banked an estimated $78 million domestically in its opening weekend, despite having a day and date release on the streaming service Peacock. Not only did the film gross $78 million domestically, but it pulled in another $52.5 million internationally for a global gross of $130.5 million. Jeez. The film reportedly had a budget of $20 million, according to Deadline's Anthony D'Alessandro. With a budget of only $20 million, the film's break-even point theatrically was $50 million. Given the $78 million haul domestically, it's clear the film has made quite a bit of cash for not only Universal, but production company Blumhouse. In fact, Blum revealed a fortune. The film has already been profitable for Blumhouse. The outlet's Devin Gordon reported Blum is already out way ahead before the movie even opens. He declines to share precise figures, but he says that the film has more than made back its production costs just from the sale of the streaming and theatrical distribution rights. The roaring success of Five Nights at Freddy's for a film adaptation comes in the wake of Scott Cawthon's refusing to cave to a woke cancel mob over his political donations to President Donald and Congresswoman Tulsi. President Donald.
Yeah.
President Donald. And Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard, among others. Cawthon found himself in the ire of the cancel mob when Twitter used I am Griffinier, who had since been suspended. Yay. Good. Took to the social media site to deride the Five Nights at Freddy's creator as a Christian fundie, as well as someone who supports a crypto fash who's allied with Hindutuva militias, pushes anti-trans bills, and appeared on PragerU. The user wrote, turns out Scott Cawthon, well known as the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's and less known as being a Christian fundie, maxed out his political donation to Republican candidates and PACs in 2020. In another post, the user wrote, some people might be tripped up by the lone dim on that list, Tulsi Gabbard, but you look at her politics, that picture becomes clear. She's a crypto fash who's allied with Hindutuva. I don't know what Hindutuva is. Militias.
I guess I'm gonna have to research that.
Yeah. Pushes anti-trans bills and appeared on PragerU. In response to the cancellation attempt, Cawthon wrote on Reddit, I've debated greatly how best to address this, including not addressing it all, but with so many people from the LGBT community and the fan base that I love, that's not an option. I'd like to think that the last 7 years I would have given me the benefit of the doubt in regards of how I treat people, but there I was, trending on Twitter for being a homophobe, getting doxxed, with people threatening to come to my house. That's ridiculous. That's just really ridiculous. People threatening to come to your house because you voted. No, you voted, but you gave money to Donald Trump's campaign. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree. Yep.
My wife is 6 weeks pregnant, and she spent last night in fear because of what she was being said online. That's horrible. He continued, she was already been struggling with her pregnancy, so seeing her so afraid really scared me. All this because I exercised my right and my duty as an American citizen to vote for the support the candidates that I felt could best run the country for everyone, and that's something that I want to apologize for. Good for you. From there, he explained the reasons why he supported the candidates he did. For Donald Trump, he wrote, I supported President Trump because I felt like he was the best man to fuel a strong economy and stand up to America's enemies abroad, of which there are many. Even if there were candidates who were better things to say to the LGBT community directly and bigger promises to make, I believe that their stances on other issues would have ended up doing much greater harm to those communities than good. The explanation I fear is wasted as people don't want to discuss with one another anymore. They want endless apologies and submission. People who are expecting those from me will get neither, he added. Cawthon continued, I've always been supportive of creators and I've tried to treat everyone fairly and treat everyone with dignity and respect. I've never cared about anyone's race, religion, gender, or orientation. I just treat people as people, everyone the same. And because of that, I've ended up with a very diverse group of people that I've worked with over the years. It wasn't intentional. It just happened that way. I choose people who are the best for the job. I treat everyone the same. And I end up with the people from all walks of life, in my professional life, and my personal life as well. That's the way it should be. That's the way I want it to be. I'm the way I will continue to be. I'm a Republican. I'm a Christian. I'm pro-life. I believe in God, he declared. I also believe in equality and in science and common sense. Despite what some people say, all of those things can go together. That's not an apology or promise to change. It's the way it's always been.
Mm-hmm.
He then stated, if I get canceled, then I get canceled. I don't do this for the money anymore. I do it because I enjoy it. I think if people think I'm doing more harm than good now, then maybe it's better that I get canceled and retire. I would accept that. I've had a fulfilling career. Besides, most things that people can take from you are things that never had much value to begin with. I've always loved and continue to love this community and its fan base, even if someday it doesn't include me anymore. That's very sad. That is extremely, extremely, extremely sad that somebody would give up something they love because they're being bullied.
Well, and that's what they are. And, and Archer had a comment. He said, and these people call themselves compassionate. They're not compassionate only for their side. It's their way or the highway. And there is nothing woke in that movie.
Yes, I've heard that. And Retro Doc says, I want to go see this movie just to support him. And yeah, you should. I think that is how, you support people that stand up for what's right and what's just. And I think he does that. And, I applaud him.
There's some good 80s music in there. So, yeah.
If they want to come to his house, he should just turn his front yard into a moat with piranhas. They're too stupid. They'd try to walk right in.
No, if they want to come to his house, he just needs to put a Springtrap in the front of his yard. And anybody that knows the lore knows who Springtrap is. So, I mean, that's ridiculous. Threatening him because he didn't cave into their agenda. You know? First Amendment, baby. First Amendment.
But it shows you how, that side of the aisle, political aisles, they always like anybody that supports Trump or any kind of Republican. They don't realize that we have power, and we will go and we'll put our money to something that is what we stand for, just like they do. But they act like that they're the only ones that do that. I'm happy. I'm happy that it's getting some views. I mean, I really am, just because of what he stands for. I actually watched a movie. It's more of an adult, like, it's rated R. It's not PG-13 like this one, but it's called Willy's Wonderland, and it has Nicolas Cage. It's very similar to this, but I don't know if it comes on streaming. I'll probably give it a watch. I liked Willy's Wonderland, so I might enjoy this. So, and you're saying it's good, and you don't even like horror movies, so.
No, but I knew the lore because of my youngest son and everything. And actually, you don't need piranhas. The cupcake in there. Just imagine a cupcake.
Oh, yeah. Teeth. They have speaking of that cupcake, they have a really cute Funko Pop of that. I think they have a glow in the dark one, and it looks really cute. So, and obviously the show's just meant to be fun. It's not meant to be like, a blockbuster, but I'll check it out for sure.
Yeah.
Willy's Wonderland.
It's a cute little movie. Yeah. The mystery
documentary about Bill Clinton. No, that'd be rated X. That'd be like, nobody wants to see that. You go to jail for watching anything about that. It'd be like, I'd be in jail. Because it had footage from, Epstein, who didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
His island. Anyway, I'm gonna get myself in trouble here.
I know where you're going, but yeah.
I saw a video review of Willy's Wonderland the other day, which is the first time I heard of it. Yeah, people. There's a lot of people don't like it, but actually, this is one movie. That's one movie that Nicolas Cage does not say a word in the whole movie. Wow. Which is entertaining in itself, actually. Yeah, he did a good job. He doesn't talk in it, and it's entertaining. It's probably going to be more gory than this movie that we're talking about, but it's still very enjoyable. It's still got that kind of feel of Five Nights of it's obviously inspired, I believe, of that. So, but so your thoughts going forward. So are you still looking forward to the 60th?
I am. I'm looking forward to seeing David Tennant and Catherine Tate for sure. I have my own theories, and I hope they all fail miserably because I don't want to see something bad happen, to Donna. And I'm afraid that's where we might be headed. And I hope and pray that I'm wrong. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing him be back,
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to Neil Patrick Harris playing the Celestial Toymaker. He's just there to act.
I mean, actually, I'm believe it or not, like I want to see. Obviously, I want to see these specials before I buy any merchandise. But I'm very interested in see the merchandise coming out, especially the Toymaker. That'll be a very kind of a cool figure to get and to own. And I'm sure they'll have like what the Meep, the Meep toys, which I wouldn't be as excited about, but I think having like some figures and some, I'm sure the rumor is Funko Pop is going to, and I think I said this last time, it's going to release the 14th Doctor, or they're going to. That's the rumor. I'll make room. I'll make room.
I don't have any David Tennant figures, not in Funko, so I'll have to get that for sure.
And maybe we'll finally get a Donna Funko Pop.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, I don't understand why we didn't ever get one, but I will definitely tell him thanks to Jason for another Babylicious art piece this week. Yeah, he does such an awesome job, and it just keeps getting better and better. Like every week, it's just better and better. Beep the merchandise. Yeah, we'll probably get some of that too. But I'm interested to see if we'll get some kind of Donna Pop, because again, they skipped her over in the first 3 runs or 4 runs. We never got it. They did Missy, they did Amy, they did Rose, Clara, and I don't even think we even got a Martha Funko Pop either.
Wow, so, well that needs to be rectified too.
Yeah, so I think the good thing about RTD coming back, Funko will probably want the license again, and because they actually, the thing is they actually didn't continue with the license during the Jodie era, but it was very successful according to fans. But Funko didn't want the license, so no, we could live without a Slitheen Funko, to be honest. But I'm excited about it. But I am excited about the merch. I think that's going to be cool. Hopefully they'll get some merch over here in America that's not like uber expensive. I feel like, I don't know about you, but do you feel like the Americans have kind of been left out of some of this stuff? Like it just like I just feel like, like why didn't you? I mean, why aren't you? I don't know. I know we're not the most important people in the universe. I'm not saying that. I mean, obviously, Doctor Who's a British institution, but I just feel like, other than getting on Disney Plus, I just think that's kind of sad. I think it should be, if you're wanting to make it a Whoniverse, Whoniverse does not just include Britain.
That's right. It should be everywhere else.
Yeah. Retro Doc says, do you want us an RTD Funko that can mangle? I want a Chibnall Funko that we can just mangle, but I don't want to spend my money on him anyway. So I can just mangle it. Just you know what you could do? Just get it you buy a dartboard. It'd be cheaper. Buy a dartboard, buy the darts, and then just print out a picture of whoever you don't like and put the picture on the.
Yep.
My brother actually. I'm dating myself, but my brother used to have a dartboard in his garage, and he actually printed a picture of Bill Clinton in the 90s and stuck it on there, and he would play darts.
That's funny.
Yeah. So you could always do that. There you go. They're darts.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jodie, maybe, like a Jodie would be cool. Like, you could make one. Yeah, but that didn't sell.
Or that's find somebody that's got a 3D printer, you know, I mean, hey.
Yeah. Chin balls and RTD Funkos. I need some new archery target. Now, as much as I RTD right now, he's kind of irritating me. I think Chin balls is like the worst of the worst because that dude can't write. So okay, so your thoughts on, so after all this stuff happened this week, and I know it changes per week because we always every week we get something new. So what do you think about I don't want to call it that. It should be series 14, but it's series 1 of the Shooty era.
It'll probably be, it's going to be series 14 to me because I have enough other crap to keep straight in my life. So it'll be series 14.
Yeah.
Well, I guess, still just wait and see how it plays out,
yeah. That's all you can do anyway.
If I get turned off, then I get turned off and I just won't watch it, but I'll give it a chance.
Yeah. I mean, okay, so everybody has their limit. Like, what is your limit for, like, when do you shut it off? Like, I think we all I probably should have shut off Jody way before I did, but is it 3 episodes, 4 episodes? Do you watch a whole season before you decide, okay, this just isn't going? Or are you one of these people like, I have to complete it because I have to know? Which one are you?
If it doesn't grab me right off the bat, I have a hard time watching anything. It has to really be a go-getter for me.
Yeah.
But knowing it's Doctor Who, I know that, sometimes it takes a while to get going. I might give it 3 or 4 episodes and see how it goes.
And also, I think, let's say you give it 3 episodes and the 3rd episode, just all of them sucked and you just quit. There's always somebody that you trust that's going to say, look, I know you only watched 3 episodes, but it gets better. And then sometimes you'll go back and go, okay, I trust you, so I'll go back. And I've done that, but not with Jody's era. I mean, most people were like, why are you still watching that? And I did hold off for a long time of watching Flux, and I did finally watch it just because I wanted a good laugh. And I had a really good laugh at that one. That was just, oh my God, it was the most accidentally hilarious season I've ever watched. That anyone took that seriously is amazing to me. And Shooty will have short seasons, I think. I know he's signed on for 2 seasons.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I thought I saw only 2 seasons, so because he wants to go back to theater or something.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a short trip.
So,
and it might be even shorter if it doesn't do very well.
Yeah.
But Disney Plus tends to, they keep another thing about it being on Disney Plus will keep putting out the garbage, even if it's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's bad, they're still probably going to make it. So, I mean, he the most he's probably going to stay is 3 years. That's usually what most of them say anyway.
Yeah.
You had Tennant, he stayed a little longer than any of them, but most of the time it's 3 years.
Yeah.
So, and we might be happy that it's only 8 episodes. I think 8 episodes is a good to start with. Let's not make it a 12 episode and everybody hates it. So, eight episodes is better, and then you have more. Of course, that's not true with Jody. She had 8 episodes and they all sucked, and it doesn't guarantee it's going to be good because it's shorter. But we'll see.
Yeah. I
don't know. So, have you been watching anything interesting lately? I know you've had a rough week, so I'm not sure if you've had time.
No, not really. Just like I said, I've been going back watching, Christopher Eccleston and then David Tennant stuff. Other than that, no.
Yeah. Do you find yourself when you rewatch episodes, do you find yourself more critical the more you watch them sometimes, or?
Sometimes, yeah. I really look at Rose and go, golly. I mean, I see how she grew, from when he first picked her up to where I'm at now in the series. I mean, she's grown as a character, has matured more, but I still am not a big fan of her like I was when she first came out.
Right. And then, like, when I first watched that series, I was fine with it. I was like, oh, this is great. And then the more I watched it, the more I started seeing like the flaws in it, and then the more I watched Classic Who versus New Who, then I started really being critical, a lot more critical. So when you have the bigger picture, I think that's why it's important for everybody to watch the big picture. If you can get through it, you know, not all of Classic Who is great either, but I think it's important to have it, you know, for me, I don't know anyone else. Gary says he's watching the 2 Robert Downey Sherlock movies for the first time.
Oh, they're pretty good. I enjoyed those.
I liked them okay. I you know, I liked them okay. I think I've seen them once, years ago. If you really like Sherlock Holmes, I mean, I thought Downey did a pretty good job.
I like Jude Law as Watson. So
yeah, I like the show Sherlock better, but that's just me. I like it because it's in a, you know, not that I don't like that setting. I love the Victorian setting. I like Jack. I don't like what Jack the Ripper did, but I like the lore of Jack the Ripper in that time period. You know, just the Victorian period and murder is just awesome to me. Not awesome, but you know.
Yeah.
The atmosphere of that. For me, I've been kind of getting, I haven't actually, I still continued my horror watching binge after our last stream. We ended up watching, last Saturday, we ended up watching Halloween 3 Season of the Witch because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And I enjoyed it. I hadn't seen it in uni years, and it's the one without Michael Myers. And a lot of people like have a cow over that, but I liked it. And then Halloween night, we actually couldn't find anything to watch because I pretty much watched it all I could think of to watch. So we watched a couple of episodes of the 90s show, The Outer Limits. So just a kind of a rewatch. And that's, you know, those are nice to go back to. But yeah, it's been like, it's been for me this week. It hasn't really been watching a whole lot, actually. Halloween 3 is pretty good, very dark. I have actually started a book. I started a book called Elliot Ness and the Mad Butcher of Kingsbury Run. And it's very intense and a hard read, but I love the idea that it's the story about the criminal that got away from Elliot Ness. So I'm fascinated with that concept. So, yeah, it's a very, the evil person that he is chasing is definitely worse than Al Capone could ever dream to be.
Oh, wow.
And it's an interesting book because I do know the complete story, but I'm doing a research for a podcast. But yeah, he basically taunted Ness until like till he died. He would write him letters because he got away. So, yeah. So if you're interested in that type of thing, pretty soon I'm going to be coming out with a true crime podcast. So I'll have more information, but hopefully that's coming out soon. And we're recording another episode next week. We won't be back next week because my mom's birthday is on Saturday. So so we'll have a day off.
Well, the kids will be here. Yeah, the kids will be here anyway. And then that following weekend, are we doing our 90s movies? Is that?
No, we're actually changing it because Dr. Who is like, you know, I think we're gonna move the 90s probably up to around Christmas, closer to Christmas, maybe if we can. Not, we'll do it. The 2024 will be the first, but I'm hoping to finish that one. And then, but on the 17th, which would be next Saturday, not next Saturday, but the Saturday afterwards. Gary had a great idea for us to him as well to pick our 5 favorite regenerations.
Okay.
So I know what one of mine is. And I think this will be on all of our lists, maybe.
Probably so.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mine will not be Peter Capaldi's. That will obviously not be on any of our lists. It might be. I mean, only because he's awesome, but that's not going to be on my list. Just so you know.
Okay.
I'll tell everybody now. just because who he regenerates into.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it. Okay.
All right. Well, that's all we have. It's kind of a short one this week. I'm trying to shorten them up a little bit because, my voice kind of starts giving out when I do like those long list ones we do, but they're a lot of fun, so I'm not complaining. But hope you guys can join us on the 17th. We'll talking about regenerations, like we said, and then after that, the week after that will be obviously the premiere of the first 60th special. So we'll be talking about that, and then who knows after that? Then every weekend will probably be the next.
Yeah.
For a few weeks. So, and then we have a Christmas special.
Yeah, I'm glad they're bringing the Christmas special back, actually.
Yeah.
It's nice. So, definitely.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and to be notified when we post a new video or stream. Anyway, guys, see y'all guys later. Bye.
All right. Bye.